Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, a short version podcast talking all things Pittsburgh sports. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, and well, it's a hockey night in Pittsburgh. I won't try to mimic Mike Lang. I'm a long way off from that, but I think about Mikey every year as the Penguins home opener, season opener, rolls around. They host the New York Rangers at PPG Paints Arena tonight, and I cannot wait to get going. We're going to talk a lot Penguins. I'm going to talk a little bit of Steelers, a little bit of Pirates. But anyway, we do that here, and we appreciate you finding us. This show's brought to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. If you're injured in an accident, you're probably wondering what's next. For over 40 years, Edgar Snyder and Associates has helped injury victims answer that question. Whether it's gathering evidence, collecting medical records, or dealing with insurance companies, Edgar Snyder and Associates has helped over 75,000 people handle what's next. Call 1-800-94-EDGAR or visit edgarsnyder.com for a free consultation. And remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you. I actually want to open this with a message from another one of our sponsors, or better yet, a message to another one of our sponsors and people that are near and dear to my heart, an area of the country that is near and dear to my heart, and something that is a little bit scary, frankly. But Manatee County, Bradenton, you've probably seen the news about Hurricane Milton heading for Florida. It's a Category 5 storm, wind gusts of more than 150 miles an hour. It's expected to make landfall today. Just hoping and praying that everybody is safe down there and that damage is minimal or non-existent or whatever you want to say. It's just it's an awesome area, a resilient area. They will build back from it, but just a scary sort of place. And Pirate City is obviously right in the middle of that. We have a story on A1 today talking about Pirate City being used as an emergency operations center. A bunch of police officers there. They're batting down the hatches, bases, trash cans, tables, everything tied up. And it's just been tough. Hurricane Helene was there, 2 weeks ago, and seeing damage from just one of my absolute favorite parts of the world, from spring training. And again, thoughts, prayers, hopes, all positive thoughts, whatever you want to say, whatever you're comfortable saying, just hope that everything is okay. And a great quote from Elliot Falcione today, a friend of mine, awesome guy, Baldwin native. This is Pittsburgh sister city, We're resilient like Pittsburghers, blue collar. There are a lot of former Pittsburghers that live down here. We're going to stand strong, Mr. Falcione said. So anyway, well wishes for everybody down there. Let's switch gears a little bit. Hockey-wise, cannot wait to get this thing going. Seriously, Penguins camp is, 3 weeks long, something like that. Feels a lot longer. And there's a really good analysis piece in the Post-Gazette today, by the way. Make sure you check that out. Matt Vancil wrote it. Like and agree with a lot of what Matt said. I'm going to work through his points. I want to add some of my own. But basically what Matt wrote is 5 things that need to happen in order for the Penguins to get back to the playoffs, have a successful year, all that stuff. I found it interesting. Kyle Dubas talked on Monday and was sort of framing the conversation, it seemed, more longer term, seeing younger players develop. And it's a tough job for Dubas, number one. And it's also clear that younger guys mean a lot to him, and they should. And I understand what that means in terms of the Penguins sustaining success. I don't think the can has to be kicked down the road that far, if you know what I mean. I think the Penguins can make the playoffs this year. I think they can win a playoff round. I look at the Eastern Conference. I'm not going to put them, to win multiple rounds. I covered the Penguins when they were making Stanley Cup runs. Those teams had a certain amount of depth that right now I don't necessarily see with the Penguins. But I do see it possible for them to win and be fairly good. And so I like Matt's piece there, kind of explained some things that needed to happen. Point number 1 was funny. Sid, stay healthy. Of course, you need the captain to play. Played all 82 last year, 94 points, was really, really good. Obviously, they're going to deal with injury concerns. They already are. Brian Rust, Blake Lizotte, Alex Nedeljkovic, some longer than others. But yes, you need Sidney Crosby in there. You need Kris Letang in there. You need Evgeni Malkin in there. Erik Karlsson as well. So kind of non-optional there. The power play, big focal point in the preseason. I think this is an area where the Penguins can get a heck of a lot better. Can't get worse, right? That's going to be the comeback. That's fine. I like what they've done so far. This is something Matt and I were talking early on about how you utilize Erik Karlsson. And we were kind of kicking around the idea, do you go with 2D on the power play? What do you do with Erik Karlsson? He's never traditionally been a power play quarterback who produces. What they're doing essentially is treating him like a forward. They're saying, go to the left flank, shoot the puck, pull the trigger. He's done that. I like Kris Letang quarterbacking this unit. I've said that a lot. David Quinn has come in and brought some interesting concept. I'm curious to see how they work. It's kind of pushing them to stop passing everywhere, looking for the perfect play. Great. Completely agree. They're stretching the ice a little bit more vertically. You're seeing more movement. And just pick up the pace. Get the puck in. Move it around. Snap it around. Doesn't have to be 400 passes. Also shoot it. Sometimes that's a great next play. So we'll see where that goes. All right, going to work through these last ones. I talked a little bit about Tristan Jarry yesterday, goaltender stealing games. I think that's hugely important. Situational awareness was another point that Matt brought up last year. They really struggled in October with poor starts. They also need to protect leads. Overtime was not a particular situation of strength. Again, this is stuff that can be improved. Players with more experience. Now, do I think this is an automatic for the Penguins? No, I don't. Because of the age of their lineup, I think some of this stuff is naturally going to happen. You're going to deal with growing pains. You're rolling out Rutger McGroarty, Valtteri Puustinen. It's nothing against those guys at all. They're just not exactly seasoned veterans, although the Penguins have rolled out seasoned veterans and they didn't fare that well in those areas either. So we'll see what happens. The last one, young guys must contribute. I do think that's an area where the Penguins can maybe get more than we expect. How much do you expect from, I think McGroarty can be really good. I think Drew O'Connor can be really good. Jack St. Ivany has been solid on the third pair. I like what he's done next to Ryan Graves. You need to bring up other guys too. Ponomarov's another one that I look at and I think absolutely has to be a part of this thing. All right, got a couple more points I want to make, but don't want to get too far past our mid-podcast break. Short message from my favorite people down with the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
And welcome back to First 10. I'm your host, Jason Mackey. We're here Monday through Friday, middle of the morning, talking all things Pittsburgh sports, about 10 minutes. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can get a whole bunch of these and other content from our Post-Gazette, North Shore Drive, and YouTube network. All right, I wanted to share with you something kindly, one of the most absurd things that I think I've read in some time. CBS Sports put out some bold predictions. One of them is Sidney Crosby will be traded. I was like, you got to be kidding me. When I read this, it's hard to wrap your mind around the Penguins trading Crosby, CBS wrote, but it's not outside the realm of possibilities. The Penguins added Kevin Hayes to bring in some grit to their checking line while also landing former first-round pick Rutger McGroarty. Still, it won't be shocking if the Penguins aren't in contention when the deadline rolls around. Come on. Really, we're here. We're here. They're not trading Sid this season. They might not be in contention when the deadline rolls around. They might trade some guys that, Marcus Patterson, unfortunately, as much as I would like to see them extend Marcus Patterson based on what Kyle Dubas said on Monday, you might have to make a business decision there. I don't see it happening with Sid. Come on. All right, final shots from this one. A couple guys I'm looking at to have a pretty good bounce back year. Or solid years. Anthony Beauvillier looks like he could get a crack next to Drew O'Connor and Sid. I like his speed. I like what he's able to do. He's had some decent years with the Islanders. Curious to see what they have there. Matt Grzelcyk has not looked out of place next to Kris Letang. Big X factor there, settling down in their top four. He's played actually some decent top 4 minutes next to a talented guy, Charlie McAvoy. Will that work? We'll find out. Like what I've seen from Kevin Hayes so far. They're not going to ask a ton of him, probably third or fourth line minutes. I've liked him in the middle more than I have on the wing. Can that continue into the regular season? We'll see. But a whole bunch more I could go on about the Penguins. I want to hit a couple Steelers points first, but I worry a little bit about the injuries as we transition over to football that they're dealing with this week. Don't you? It's tough. Alex Highsmith out with the groin. Herbig, hamstring. Leal, neck. Little question mark with Jaylen Warren, Pruitt, DeMonte KZ, Cordarrelle Patterson, ankle. Anyway, It's just going through the list. Piles up in a hurry, doesn't it? So, yeah, outside linebacker worries me quite a bit. You have TJ Watt opposite Jeremiah Moon. I'm pretty sure I know who I'm going to double team in that matchup and who I'm going to be comfortable only blocking with one guy. No offense, Jeremiah. But the Steelers are banged up. They're banged up, and they're going to have to overcome a lot in Vegas. There are obviously a lot of other storylines, not the least of which Russell Wilson coming back. How does George Pickens bounce back, etc. But, there's a lot. There's a lot. Need to establish the running game. Looks like it could be all on Najee Harris. Patterson's already out. What happens with Jaylen Warren? It does not look good for a couple of weeks for him. But as Mike Tomlin says, you'll let the participation be their guide there. But anyway, that was my takeaway from Mike Tomlin yesterday. Just the injuries. How they're mounting. They're mounting. I understand it's the NFL season, but it seems like a lot. So we'll hope those guys progress and kind of see what happens throughout the week. And, we'll talk more about Steelers in the later days. And I'm going to be filling in actually for Paul Zeiss tomorrow with Adam Bittner. So I'm sure we'll get into plenty of that stuff as well. Thanks for checking out First 10, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.